Welcome back to Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. I am so excited to have my guest today, Dr. Shyra Jones out of Texas. I'm excited, one, because my brand strategist said, you need to get her on the podcast. And then I read her bio, so I'm going to read it to you all because I believe that she is such a fascinating young woman and she brings so much into the field. So she said, I consider myself fortunate to have been the oldest of three children in a military family. My father served 20 years in the Army, offering us an opportunity to travel and meet a variety of people. My mother was in middle management for a retailer and remains active in the community to this day. I am the oldest of three and remain close to my siblings. Growing up, I was uncertain about my career until high school. Me too. High school changed my mind about mental health, where I was introduced to research psychology. I graduated from Stephen F. Austin State University with a bachelor's degree in psychology in 2001, a master's in rehabilitation counseling in 2005, and earned my doctorate from the University of Arizona Global Campus in 2020. In 2011, I earned full licensure as a professional counselor in the state of Texas. Throughout my career, I have worked for the state of Texas at Division for the Blind in a domestic violence safe home, at a substance use disorder center, and elementary school, and in private practice. I enjoy crocheting, reading, playing guitar, singing, journaling, and being physically active. I have three dogs, one of which I'm training to be an official service dog to help me with mobility that is complicated by a degenerative eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa. Growing up with a disability and having my eyesight decrease over time has taught me the importance of connection and compassion, which I bring to work with clients. Combining what I have learned in school and what I've learned by being a person places me in a position to join others as they search for themselves and own their lives. I love that, searching for themselves and owning their life. So, welcome, Dr. Jones. Thank you for your yes. Thank you for coming in and sitting in here on this Zoom and this interview where we get to talk about you, your passion, and talking a little bit about how your degenerative eye disease has helped you navigate the mental health spaces helping others. So, welcome.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I am very excited to get an opportunity to speak with you and hopefully answer some questions and be a person of support within the community.
Absolutely. So let's get started. You said in high school, you were introduced to research psychology, which has led you to your career as a licensed professional counselor. Tell me about that introduction.
Thank you very much for that. High school was an interesting time as I was very, very, uncertain about what I wanted to study. I just hadn't
Mm-hmm.
found anything that like piqued my interest.
Right.
I was fortunate to randomly be enrolled in a psychology course where I was introduced to research psychology
Mm-hmm.
and the importance of getting a variety of different voices when it comes to like treatment modalities, medication, and
Mm-hmm.
things along those lines. I saw a very interesting opportunity because in high
Mm-hmm.
school I'd sort of learned that the African American community, we typically are left out of research when it comes to different things. And so my goal originally was to sort of bridge that gap.
Okay. And I love that because a lot of us steered away, and I say us as a Black community, steered away from psychology in high school because it was thought of as being a nerd and things of that nature. I got my burst in high school. It's like, I gotta find out
Yeah.
why people do the things that they do and behave the way that they do. Was it like that for you as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think being in the military
Mhm.
also helped because what I had learned, my parents are originally from St. Louis, but due
Okay.
to the military, we moved around a lot. So I didn't
Mhm.
know my family. When I
Mhm.
went home to visit, spend the summers with grandma and all of those things, I realized that there were some key differences
Mm.
just because of like logistically where we were
Mhm.
and the fact that we were so like my extended family being in St. Louis and then my immediate family being in the military, like there's such this huge gap in how we
Mhm.
processed and how we navigated the world. And
Mhm.
so that was that was something that interested me.
Okay, okay. You said you recognize some differences. Can you share what those differences were that you experienced in between with traveling? I'm a Marine Corps brat, so I
Okay,
get
yeah,
it. So can
yeah,
you
100%.
share some of those situations where you saw that difference?
The thing that's coming to mind right off the top is going out shopping. And when I was in St. Louis visiting, we didn't really have a hard time shopping. There were
Mm-hmm.
some places, especially on military installations, where
Yeah.
I noticed that when we went shopping, our behavior had to be different. Like we almost
Mm-hmm.
had to go out of our way
Mm-hmm.
to prove that we were just shopping and not doing anything more than that. Does that
Isn't
make
that
sense?
so sad that when even on a military installation, you're fine, but then going out in public
Um,
and you're having to prove something that hadn't even crossed your mind. And that's unfortunate, even in society today. People will see our skin first, our color of our skin first, and make these judgments without seeing us as a person. How do you help clients navigate that?
I do a lot of neuroscience and a lot of really, really checking into our body
Okay.
and getting support afterwards. I think
Mm.
sometimes there's this expectation that
Mhm.
when we have an encounter that was a bit demeaning, that we're
Mhm.
to just go on with the rest of our day. And what I've kind of learned just throughout my personal and professional experiences is that when we have encounters like that, it's important that we sort of, like take some time to care for ourselves because that's a
Mhm.
lot to carry around on your own. So
Right.
having someone that you can talk to and being honest about it can really
Mhm.
help us kind of shake it off so that we can
Mhm.
go on with the next thing.
So, can we really shake it off? Let's talk a little bit about the neurological side of things. Can
Mhm.
we really shake it off neurologically, or do we develop healthy coping skills?
We develop healthy coping skills.
Got you. What does that look like?
Um, this may be I don't know what the word would be. This may seem really simple, but some of the things that we naturally do, such
Mhm.
as the singing, like
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
know myself, like if I'm in the car and there's a group of us, we
Mhm.
have we have the radio on, we have Spotify
Mhm.
on, and we are
Mhm.
just singing at the top of our lungs, right?
Mhm.
That helps us kind of tune the nervous system and
Yes.
bring us back down to baseline. Sometimes we don't have the words to
Mhm.
discuss what
Mhm.
happened,
Mhm.
but we can connect with our body and do some of those healing things like the singing, the praying,
Mhm.
um, the eating good home cooked food. Like those
Yeah.
are all things that easily
Mhm.
bring our nervous system back down.
Mhm. Laughter, just a
Oh,
just a burst of laughter. I tell people all the time, even when you don't feel like it, force yourself to
yeah.
laugh. It activates the dopamine and the
Yeah.
serotonin in your
Mhm.
brain, giving you this ooey gooey feeling that you
Yeah.
don't have to sit in the heaviness. I love the singing part. I'm gonna activate that a little bit more. I can carry a little tune, but I can't sing like that. But that brings into to space to understand that we're
Um,
right now living in a society that's heavy.
Yes. I love the word that you used, heavy.
Mm-hmm. Tell me your
Very
thoughts about
heavy.
that.
I think, I'm working with someone now who they are pre-diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
And we've kind of been speaking about like some of the heaviness that they carry around that's
Mm-hmm.
now getting stuck in the body and
Yeah.
manifesting, right? As
Mm-hmm.
prediabetes
Mm-hmm.
or difficulties, maintaining a healthy weight,
Mm-hmm.
difficulties like it's almost as if being out and about in society,
Yeah.
we own that and we don't let go, and it
Yes.
does physically show up in our bodies.
It does. I literally, and it's so good that you say that. This morning I posted a message. I always post a message after I leave the gym. And this morning I simply asked a question: are you experiencing mental hoarding? This rumination of thoughts, the over and over and
Um,
over again, the things that you're not releasing, because a lot of people still don't understand when you have mental hoarding, that unforgiveness and all that, it shows up as anxiety and depression first, and then physiological symptoms like pre-diabetic and cardiovascular issues later. Do you also share that with your clients?
yes, ma'am, I do. I'm someone who's a bit more holistic in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very common for like if someone comes in and has session with me,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we may do some talking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we may do some singing. We
Mm-hmm.
may go for a walk,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's important that we connect with our physical
Absolutely.
body.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, if we're used to talking and
Mm-hmm.
if we're used to masking or not being vulnerable,
Come on now.
doing more talking doesn't get us where we need to go.
Absolutely. I tell people that you can't put therapy in a box. It
Right.
doesn't fit for
Hmm.
everyone. Someone may benefit from talk therapy. Some others may benefit from the
Hmm.
silence in talk therapy. Others may benefit from like sound bowl and just so many
Uh-huh.
different things.
Hmm.
What do you do to identify what your clients' needs are to better help them in therapy?
That's a very interesting question. When is a little bit how I show up, like in the therapy room, is
Mhm.
I tend to be very, very, very grounded.
Yes.
Um, Self-care is super important,
Mhm.
especially if I'm going to be able to accompany somebody from where they are to where they want to be. So
Mhm.
a lot of it is just picking up on subtle cues and
Mhm.
throwing out options. Oftentimes
Yeah.
I will, usually by the third session, like I will ask somebody, like, hey, would you like to talk today or would you prefer to do a creative activity? So, like, there's
Nice.
options, right, at the
Mhm.
beginning of session so people can
Mhm.
tell me what they want and
Mhm.
I can help them get it.
I love that. I love asking them, "Hey, where are you today? Do you
Right,
want to be creative? Do you want to do this talk therapy thing? Do you want to dive deeper?" um,
right,
and into what it is. I'm a trauma specialized therapist, so I'm a deep diver. I will
right.
go as deep as
Mhm.
your brain allows you and incorporate hypnotherapy into the sessions and things of that nature. And so,
Okay.
for yourself, what fascinates you the most for your clients?
Um, so I think the thing that fascinates me the most,
Mm-hmm.
the ability to heal and
Mm.
the ability to step into our own space, right? Like we each have been gifted
Mm-hmm.
this life
Mm-hmm.
and like this little slice of the world that's our own. And we
Yeah.
get to say what happens in that slice. And so being able to watch somebody in the beginning who maybe doesn't know much about themselves be able to
Mm-hmm.
make some decisions and some changes and
Yeah.
to see them truly become happy.
Yes. Yes. And getting that, I think a lot of people don't realize as therapists, we rejoice in those
A
moments when
hundred
that light
percent.
bulb,
A hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
about trying to keep you in this revolving door of therapy, but
No.
more of I want to get you where you want to be
Mhm.
and really understand it. So when you have clients who may not be as open to therapy and it takes a little work to get them there, how do you help encourage them to stay on the journey of therapy?
I ask them what their values are, and I ask them why are they in therapy, right?
Mm, mhm.
A big thing is a lot of people will say, like, "I'm in therapy because my wife said I should come."
Yeah, I
So,
can almost hate those. Like,
um,
no.
well, and so I do too, and I used to fight it and do, like,
Mhm,
all of this work, like, to try to get them. I'll say, "Okay, fine, then if your wife says you need to come, what does she want you to work on?"
mhm. Or why
And
did you
then
agree? That's usually
right.
my question. Why did you agree?
It yeah, yeah. And
Mhm,
usually I will, and so I'll start there.
mhm.
Um, my goal is to get people to come back, and if
Yeah.
that means that there are some times that I'm just holding the space for the client,
Mhm, mhm.
or I'm just kinda sitting in their presence until they're ready, I
Yeah.
personally don't want to rush anyone to do
Oh, I
something
love
they are
that.
not ready to do,
Mhm,
so I will pace accordingly.
mhm, mhm. I love that
Mhm.
because a
'Cause
lot of people come in and they'll ask, "Well, how long do you think it's gonna take?" It's like, "Listen, this is not a
Mhm.
sprint. This is a marathon. It's gonna take us learning how to practice a
Yeah.
retraining of your thoughts." Do
Mhm.
you kinda, agree with that idea that it's more of a marathon than a sprint?
Absolutely.
Mhm. How do you help
Absolutely.
them, kinda slow down the idea of, "I've gotta rush, I've gotta see this happen right
Mhm.
now?"
Self-compassion. I do
Mm.
a lot of self-compassion work
Mhm,
and
mhm,
a lot of education about what compassion is and what it isn't. I think
mhm.
sometimes we see compassion as being an easy way out,
Okay.
where I think a missing piece to compassion is the discipline aspect. So when we're talking about like self compassion, it's like, okay, I'm going to do the things I don't want to do so that
Mhm,
I can benefit my future self. Like, I'm going to
mhm,
take some things on with the goal that down the line, I
mhm,
will have more choices, I will have more options.
mhm,
And, we kind of go from there. And
mhm. Okay.
so we will kind of look at like, okay, what are goals? What are values?
Mhm.
And a lot of, is this your goal? Sometimes people take on goals that aren't theirs. And
Right.
so I need to know that
Mhm.
because maybe your first goal is to set a goal that's truly theirs. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
It absolutely does. What I hear you saying is we have been conditioned by others'
Mhm.
expectations for our lives. So we set goals based on those expectations. But getting to your true self, you can change your goals and curate them to who you authentically are. So I love that because, excuse me, we go through these whole developmental stages of everybody else's has input in our lives except for us.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then hearing you say that is a reminder of that movie, The Great Debate, when Denzel Washington said, "Do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do." So having that futuristic idea of, in my right now, I got to do this, but here's what I want to do, and helping
Right.
clients to really own their self
Mhm.
power in that process. I love, love, love that you push that with them so that they can learn to hear their own voice and not the voice of society and parents and
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
What's a case that you've worked with, a client that you've worked with where they struggled with owning their voice because they were so connected to, but my mama said, but my daddy said, but my grandma said?
Uh-huh. Yes, I'm kinda smiling, because I'm
Hmm.
working with someone currently,
Hmm.
who kinda shared with me that she's in a master's program and she does not wanna be.
Mm.
Um, and so, um and when I asked her about it, I got the impression that
Mhm.
she hadn't thought about it before, that
Mm.
the expectations were just always there.
Mhm.
And then she's in, because their master's program, that's a lot of work,
It's a lot of work.
especially if that's something you don't want to be doing.
Mhm.
So when I'm working with her, when I've worked with her, we've decided that sh- she's so close to finishing the program
Mhm.
that it makes sense for her to finish, and that
Yeah.
feels authentic to her. In
Mhm.
the meantime, we're building in some things that are very authentically her so that she can
Yeah.
honor who she is,
Mhm. Mhm.
and a commitment that she's made that's kind of started her on a path. And so, like, she's doing things like going to the gym more, hanging
Okay.
out with friends more, like she's
Mhm.
building more fun into her life
Oh, nice.
to kind of offset the fact that she's in this program that she
Mhm.
doesn't want to be in.
Yeah. Now, if she would have come to you in the first semester of that master's program, what do you think you would have done differently to help her find herself early on? So if she needed to make a switch.
Oh, that's a great question.
Hmm.
We probably would have done a double pros and cons list,
Mhm. Mhm.
and we probably would have done a loving kindness meditation. Those are probably the things I would have started with.
Nice, nice. And I like that you mentioned earlier that you have clients to really define and assign their
Mhm.
values because a lot of clients don't realize that the values they believe that they have are
Uh-huh.
severely associated with their developmental stages and not that
Right.
persona for themselves.
Absolutely.
I love that you tap into that. And I love that it's from a holistic perspective to
A
help
hundred
clients.
percent. Mhm.
Mhm, mhm. So what are some goals that you have for yourself in therapy as a therapist? What are some of your goals?
So right now, I am in private practice, and
Mhm.
so we are launching an intensive outpatient program,
Nice.
which is it's very 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 small and very comprehensive. It's about
Mhm.
8 weeks, and
Okay.
so we do a combination of group, and we do along with individual,
Mhm.
psychotherapy, a variety of different things.
Mhm.
So making that more available,
Mhm.
and giving people like an opportunity to use, that time to connect with
Yeah.
themselves.
I love
Um
that.
100%. And so
Yeah.
I've also been working really really hard to show up more in the community.
Mhm.
So I've been, partnering with community organizations, and, kind of supporting where I can.
Mhm.
Um, and just kind of, I think there is something really, really, I don't know if the word is enjoyable, but like I get this deep sense of gratitude
Mhm.
when I have an opportunity to work with clients. And so
Yeah.
it's important for me to do my work,
Yeah.
right? To
Mhm.
treat that with the care that it deserves. And so
Yeah.
there are some things that, that I need to be doing personally, like
Mhm.
going to the gym. Just like
Yeah, yeah.
just addressing, like, I address clients in a holistic way. So
Mhm.
to address myself in that same way so that I can
Mhm.
be the example for anyone who kind of is what, like
Yeah.
is watching me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Does that make sense?
It does. What you're saying is that I am living the life I'm trying to help you get to.
Yes, ma'am,
That's
that is
bottom
it.
line. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm hearing. So interesting, but I have a question for you. You
Okay.
mentioned your love for neuroscience. In your IOP that you're about to launch, how are you going to introduce neuroscience into that
Mhm.
program? Are you doing brain mapping? What are some things that you're doing?
So we do 2 different things. One, we do EMDR.
Okay.
Um, and so a lot of people get a lot of benefit from EMDR just because it bypasses
Mhm.
all of the stories that we tell ourselves, and
Mhm.
it really, really connects us to our body.
Yeah.
We also do so I am in yoga teacher training currently. So
Nice.
that is something that I offer to clients individually and in the IOP. So like
Mhm.
we will be doing some somatic movement.
Nice.
Um, we also talk a lot about the foods we eat and when and why we
Mhm.
eat them
Mhm.
so that we can learn, like a bit more and
Okay.
increase our self-care. So yes, it's woven in everywhere.
I love that. I love that you're taking a holistic body, soul, mind approach to therapy, especially in IOP, because I know there are some IOPs. They're just very uh, stigmatic in the sense of it
Yeah.
has to be this book form. You got to go through. It's like the ASAM
Uh-huh.
program. You got to go through week one, and it has to look exactly like this, and then week two. And I'm so glad to hear that for your IOP, you're going to open the availability to meet the clients where they are, introduce them to different facets as they get to know themselves so that
Mhm.
they can best honor their authentic life. I love, love, love that. I can't wait for you to lunch. You got to keep me abreast of it as
Okay,
you get
thank
closer
you.
to the lunch so that we can, help you get the word out there and support because I know how powerful that can be. No, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Okay.
Let him bark. He's fine. Listen, I tell people all the time that in post COVID, we have come into homes via
Yeah.
technology. And when, you have people that have, in your instance, you have dogs and they're feeling your energy because they're like, okay, who's mama talking to? Right?
What Yes, and it's kind of funny. You hear my service dog barking,
Mm-hmm.
and so she was giving me, due to the eye disease,
Mm-hmm.
I have, sometimes I get like these, attacks of vertigo. So
Okay.
she was warning me like, "Hey, you need to get somewhere stable."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so that's yeah, so
Oh,
that's what
wow.
that bark so that's what that bark was just letting me know that I need to be aware.
That's so awesome to have that in this real time moment so that we could actually see how
Mhm.
your service dog is saying, hey, I see you. Something's off. Are you sitting? Are you safe? Are you where you need to
Yeah.
be? I love that for you. I love that we got the opportunity to witness that so that people can understand. I shared this in another episode that therapists are humans too. We have whatever life's
Yeah,
challenges are,
yeah,
and being in our homes and recording and just different things like that, the grace that we have to show ourselves as well as our clients and the compassion. I love that you use the word self-compassion, but that compassion shows up because we've taken time to do the
yeah.
work for ourselves. And I love that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let me ask you, in these final moments, what would be some words of encouragement that you would say to the audience?
Oh, hmm. This may sound this may sound a little silly,
Hmm.
but don't cling to a mistake just because you spent so much time making it. I think
Ooh.
sometimes we stop ourselves from growing because we've
Hmm.
had this patterned behavior
Hmm.
for so long.
Hmm.
And oftentimes people have told us, like, hey, that you need to change. Hey, and sometimes I get well, me personally, sometimes I know that
Hmm.
I need to change my mind, but I don't because I don't want to appear weak to whomever else had
Mm.
given me the feedback that I
Hmm.
needed to change some time ago.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so being able and willing to let go, even if it's something you've done forever and a day. Does that make sense?
It does. It absolutely does. Don't cling to the mistakes. I
Right.
so love that. So, so love that. But give yourself that permission to see the mistakes, own whatever it is, make the adjustments, but show yourself some grace
Mhm.
in the process of it because we all make mistakes. Thank
Right.
you so much for being a part of Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. If clients in the Texas area wants to reach out to you, how can they contact you?
You can reach out to we have a front office.
Mhm.
Do you want me to give the number?
You can give the number, you can give your website, if you
Okay.
have any books that you've written, if you have any ebooks that they can go and check out,
Okay.
any of those things.
Okay. So you can definitely reach the front office at 254
Mhm,
651 1803.
mhm,
And then we do have a website, which is drshyrajones.org. Something there is a sheet
mhm,
on the website where if you write me a message and you're like,
mhm.
"Hey, I'm interested in XYZ," those sheets from the website come directly to me. So
Okay.
I will get them and reach out and connect and answer any questions and all of those things.
Nice. So listen, if you're in the Texas area and you want to work with a holistic practitioner who has a level of compassion and getting you to where you want to be in your authentic life, you need to reach out to Dr. Shyra Jones and she'll take good care of you. So until the next episode of Authentically Peculiar with Marcia, remember to stay focused. Remember to show yourself compassion and always remember to be your authentic self. Take good care.